Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tutorium in Intensive English at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I'm Jordan and I'm your grammar teacher. As I said in my previous videos, the High Intermediate module will discuss all of the conditionals. Our last conditional that we are discussing is the third conditional. Now, this is one of the harder conditionals to learn. So let's just see what we can learn about it, and you'll need to continue practicing after this video. In today's lesson, we will look at example sentences using third conditional, and we'll learn the grammar rules for the third conditional. So first, let's just look at some of these sentences. If I had studied, I would have passed my exam. If she had paid her bills, her landlord would not have evicted her. If they had not eaten all the tacos, they would not have felt so sick. Okay, so first of all, there are some things that do look familiar here. Like the other conditionals, we have an if clause and a main clause. So that's helpful. We're using the same kind of structure. However, the meaning behind the third conditional is a little bit different. In the third conditional, we are talking about an imaginary past. So, what does that mean? We're imagining or thinking about a different past. So, something that didn't happen, but what would life be like if it did happen? These have no possibility of becoming true in the future. And the third conditional is often used with regrets, like you wish things could be different, but they can't. So in our if clause, we have an imaginary past condition. It didn't happen. And then in the main clause, we have an imaginary result. So it won't happen. So none of this happened. Okay, let's look a little closer. So what does that mean exactly? Let's look at these sentences. If I had studied, I would have passed my exam. This is really saying kind of the opposite of what you see. So if I had studied, so that means I didn't study. I would have passed my exam means I didn't pass my exam. I wish I had studied. I wish I had passed my exam, but I didn't. And that's not going to change. In our second sentence, if she had paid her bills, that means she didn't pay her bills. Her landlord would not have evicted her or kicked her out or asked her to leave. So unfortunately, she didn't pay her bills. As a result, her landlord evicted her. That's not going to change. It's already happened. We wish things were different, but they aren't, and they won't be. If they had not eaten all the tacos, so again, the opposite, they ate all the tacos, they would not have felt so sick. The opposite really occurred. They felt sick. So again, I wish they had not eaten all the tacos, but they did. I wish they would not feel sick, but they do. So again, these are wishes, these are regrets. I wish these things hadn't happened, but they did. Now let's look at the structure, the verb tenses that we're using. So in the if clause, we see had studied, had paid, had not eaten. What verb tense is that? We learned that a few videos ago. Had plus past participle is what we call past perfect. So in the if clause, we use past perfect. In the main clause, we see would have passed, would not have evicted, would not have felt. So in the main clause, we see would have plus past participle, that third form, the same form that we're using in past perfect, present perfect. So again, our little math equation. In the if clause, it is past perfect plus the main clause would have plus past participle. That's pretty complex. You will need to practice multiple times to get comfortable with this combination. Many native speakers are not even 100% comfortable with this combination. We do make a lot of grammatical errors when we're speaking. So I can expect that you'll make grammatical errors too, and that's fine. The important thing is that people understand what you're trying to say. But practice as much as you can with this equation to get more comfortable. Now, as we discussed in our previous videos, in the conditionals, there is a comma for sentences beginning with the if clause. Let's look. If I had studied, I would have passed my exam. If she had paid her bills, oh, why'd that happen? Same thing happened in the last PowerPoint. If she had paid her bills, her landlord would not have evicted her. And then our last one, if they had not eaten all the tacos, they would not have felt so sick. Now again, rule number 4 is the same for the other conditionals. There is no comma for sentences ending with the if clause. So remember, you can change the if clause and the main clause when you're writing and when you're speaking. But if you're writing, you do not need a comma if the if clause is at the end. So for example, I would have passed my exam if I had studied, no comma. Her landlord would not have evicted her if she had paid her bills, no comma. They would not have felt so sick if they had not eaten all the tacos, no comma. Whew. So we're done looking at conditionals in this series, in the high intermediate series. Again, I've said this so many times. You've got to practice with these, whether it's speaking with a friend or a classmate who's learning the same topic or reviewing the same topic. Or if you practice journaling with some prompts or with some discussion questions using these different conditionals. Either way, keep practicing. And you have to practice with all 4 types. because it can get confusing. But I know that you can do it because I've had many students and they've all been successful with learning these eventually. So I know you can do it too. I'll see you in our next video. Have a good one.